Apera.
The governor of São Paulo, Tarcisio de Freitas, made a strong impact on the geopolitical scene by stating that it would be an opportunity for Brazil if the United States classified the Comando Vermelho and the Primeiro Comando da Capital as narco-terrorist factions. This stance, aligned with Donald Trump's government, caused discomfort for the Brazilian president, who quickly announced the intention to propose joint actions with the FBI against the criminal factions. For many analysts, this reaction from the federal government was seen as an attempt to take control of the narrative and prevent Tarcisio from becoming the protagonist in this debate. By aligning himself with the American strategy, Tarcisio opens the door for a possible redefinition of the fight against cartels in the region, especially if the Southern Command, already active in Paraguay and Ecuador, provides direct support. The move made by Tarcisio de Freitas, at the same time, reinforces a possible presence of the Shield of the Americas against the factions that terrorize Brazil. Welcome to life in the barracks.
It's an opportunity. I think I see this as an opportunity because from the moment a government like the United States sees the Primeiro Comando da Capital as a terrorist organization, which is in fact what they are, it becomes easier. It opens the way for cooperation so that we can integrate intelligence, so that we can bring financial resources, and so that we can fight even more effectively.
The governor of São Paulo was categorical in stating that if Brazilian factions are labeled as narco-terrorists, it opens a path for international cooperation, capable of integrating intelligence and bringing financial resources. In this scenario, the United States could provide advanced monitoring technologies, communication tracking systems, and data analysis tools, which would enhance the capacity of Brazilian police to identify and dismantle criminal networks. It's not me, it's not me, it's not me.
Governor of São.
Categorical in stating that Brazilian factions labeled themselves as that, access to international databases and strategic information shared by the FBI and other North American agencies would be an important advantage in confronting the factions. Another relevant point is the logistical and operational support that Southern Command could offer. This support would include specialized training for Brazilian police forces, the provision of modern military equipment, and even the deployment of elite units for joint operations. Good morning and welcome to the department. The experience accumulated by the Americans in international anti-drug missions would be a significant boost to increase the effectiveness of actions in Brazil. Brazil has specialized police forces in every state of the Federation, in addition to the federal police and the highway police, which also have highly trained special operations units. However, for the fight against the factions to be truly effective, it is essential that the judiciary be part of the coalition, ensuring legal support for the agents' actions. The gesture by the governor of São Paulo in supporting operations coordinated by the United States against the American cartels demonstrates not only determination in confronting crime, but also creates significant pressure on the Planalto, which so far has proven inefficient in adopting emergency measures. Therefore, this stance by the governor of São Paulo becomes even more relevant because it comes from the most populous and highest gross domestic product state, giving his statement political and economic weight.
People will realize that what's there has grown old. There's nothing new or modern about it anymore, and I'm sure Brazil will make the right choice. We're limiting ourselves, holding ourselves back, and that's nonsense. We have enormous energy, and there are 3 or 4 levers we need to move to really take off.
By aligning with the American strategy, the governor opens the way for Brazil to integrate international intelligence, receive financial resources, and count on logistical support from the Southern Command, which is already operating in Ecuador. The assets of the United States Southern Command represent a deterrent and combat force that could be decisive against organized crime in Brazil. The destroyers, for example, would have the capacity to neutralize logistical structures in ports and intercept boats used for drug exportation, cutting off one of the main trafficking routes used by the factions. The Osprey aircraft, used by the Marines, could also be employed for the rapid transport of Brazilian troops, ensuring mobility in operations that require immediate deployment in critical areas. In addition, amphibious armored vehicles capable of operating both on land and in water would be extremely useful in river regions and coastal areas where many criminals seek refuge or escape routes. The use of drones, such as the M9 Reaper, would allow constant monitoring of areas controlled by factions, as well as surgical strikes against logistical structures and command centers. In addition to that, transport helicopters like the utility helicopter, 60 Blackhawk, and the attack helicopter, H-64 Apache, they could provide direct air support to police forces, while modern fighter jets would ensure air patrol and suppression in cases of organized escape attempts. This set of resources, combined with state-of-the-art weapons and an intelligence network integrated with Brazilian police forces, shows that support for the Shield of the Americas would only bring concrete benefits to Brazil. There is no valid reason to refuse this help, considering that for decades, the country has only been spinning its wheels in the fight against crime, never achieving lasting results. The tentacles of organized crime are entrenched even in the highest levels of power, as revealed by countless cases of authorities involved with criminal networks. A coalition with the Southern Command could finally break this cycle and offer Brazil a real chance of victory against drug trafficking. By supporting the actions of the United States, Tarcisio de Freitas puts himself at the forefront of the security debate, and he signals to the Trump administration that the policies of the current Brazilian president do not fully reflect the aspirations of the population. The governor of São Paulo went further and instituted a law that requires schools in São Paulo to sing the national anthem out loud once a week, reinforcing the patriotic spirit and the feeling of love for the country, which, according to him, should be cultivated by all Brazilians. Leave here in the comments what you think about Tarcisio's statements and actions, which have stirred up the debate about public security in Brazil. Here at Life in the Barracks, you stay up to date with everything happening in the military world. Leave your like, subscribe, and watch one of the videos appearing on your screen. Forward fighters, see you next time.